this 2 Chainz project?
Like, there's a couple primo records I ain't even named yet. What are we doing?
2 Chainz dropped an album today.
He did.
He was saying it was going to be his last trap album. Whatever that means or whatever that entails. But yeah, he dropped the album today, 12-track album. It's called Dope Don't Sell Itself.
That doesn't sell itself.
What was your first reaction to the album?
I really enjoyed it the first time, Mike, and then you like ruined my day. Maybe it's because I was riding on the south side, listening to 2 Chainz.
You were in his hood, yeah.
I was in his hood today, Mike. I rode right past his hood today, like no lie. So maybe I was just feeling the vibes.
I'm a 2 Chainz fan, and maybe that worked against me listening to it.
I was like, "Hey, Mike, this is a pretty dope project." He was like, "No, not really."
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Let's go to the track list. Like, what songs did you rock with the most?
Hold on, I'm about to pull them up right now.
What did you think of the Vlad TV song with Stove God Cooks?
You don't like it?
That was one of the better ones. That's why I brought that up.
Mike, I thought that was one of the highlights of the album. Hold on, let's pull it up.
I think quick. Kingpin Ghostwriter featuring Lil Baby were one of the highlights of the album too.
Yes, it was. Mike, the way it starts, Bet It Back. Bet It Back is tough. You don't like Bet It Back, the way the album starts?
I just was expecting better bars from my man 2 Chainz. Man, I big up 2 Chainz as a lyricist that people don't view as a lyricist. He's a stage stiller, and I just didn't get that here.
So, Mike, everybody's got an expiration date on their scene stealing bars and versus potential. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I always, I can remember when Naughty by Nature released Feel Me Flow?
Yeah. You about
I was
to
like, oh, the hit level not the same.
Lyrically, I'm like, spitting. Okay, right. Go ahead.
Right. Like, I'm like, Tretch's lyrical tools are there, but some of the hit-making tools are starting to fade. See, on this album, the hit-making tools aren't necessarily fading. Some of the lyrical tools are fading. But that
what do you think is a hit on here? I know Miss Lynette said she liked Free BG. What?
Get out of my head, Lynette. That's where I was going. Free BG might be the highlight of this album to me. You don't like Free BG?
I need to go back and listen to it again.
Free BG is hard, Mike. That was my highlight. I think you need to listen to Bet It Back again, too. Because here's the thing. What I like about Chainz as a lyricist is that he's entertaining, articulate, and funny and wordy all at once. This album does give you a lot of that. Here's what I will tell you. You feel like this is a step down from the last album.
That's I do think, and I was just about to look up the last album, so help me God. I feel like the album that he released last year was much better. Much better. It actually made me go back and listen to that album just to make sure I wasn't tripping. Like Free Lighter, Ziploc with Kevin Gates. Like these are right when you hear them, like they just go. And that maybe that's the thing about this album. Because when I listened to it for the first time, I didn't get anything from it. And I usually do when I listen to 2 Chainz for the first time. I usually don't have to go back and listen to 2
Chainz. Okay, so Mike, also too, somebody at this stage of the game in his career, he's flooded us with a lot of material the last few years.
He has.
So the last 2 albums were better. That makes this album sound worse than what it is. Because the last 2 were better. It's not just the one before. Hold on. What is it? Rapper Go to the League was the 2 albums ago?
That was good. Yeah.
That shit was tough, Mike.
Yeah, that was tough.
So there was stuff on there that I thought was borderline greatest hits material from him on there. Okay? And so I think what we're seeing is that there's not even any borderline greatest hits material from here, but it's still a solid effort. I might have been Southside influenced today.
You know what I didn't like about this, and this is the critique that I walked away with, similar to the Nicki song with Lil Baby, which we didn't talk too much about, but we can get into it briefly. Let me see this track list. We got Moneybagg Yo on here, Beat King. We got Lil Baby. We got Roddy Ricch. I thought that song was cool. Got 42 Dub. Young Boy. NBA Young Boy. We got Lil Durk. Got Sway Lee. Stove. And Jacquez.
So can we
I
stop for a
feel
second?
like this is my critique.
Go
This
ahead.
is my critique.
I
I
think it's
feel
going to be the
like
same.
one of the things that I praised 2 Chainz for a couple of episodes back was him being so current, and you could tell what the current scene is like looking at the people who are on his album. I don't think he meshes with this current scene as well as he has in previous albums. And I think a lot of it sounds kind of forced to me. And kind of like the Nicki thing with Lil Baby, I feel like if you're not really out here ingratiated in what's going on, your songs aren't going to come out as, you know, they're not going to sound as fluid. They're not going to sound like you really out here building with these people. Like, I would love for 2 Chainz to make records with people who are in similar situations as him, like a Juicy J or a Wiz Khalifa. I think they would turn out much better. So it doesn't sound like a natural fit to me. It sounds like more of an industry pick. This person's popping. Let's get them on, try to get something going, as opposed to previous features or working with somebody. It's like, this is somebody I fuck with. This is somebody I'm out here rocking with. I'm out in the clubs with. Whatever. You know what I mean?
No, I do what you mean. To your critique, I want to kind of piggyback off of, because I think, Mike, you and I, we're in the same neighborhood about the critiques of this album. We're just on a different street. So let me explain and kind of piggyback and navigate through a different street for you. All of those things that you were saying are probably the reason that I'm feeling the way that I feel, because here's my problem with this album, Mike, and my number one problem. And I just wrote it down in my head as soon as I listened to it for the second time after you told me it wasn't that good. Well, it's not that he doesn't fit into this format, in my opinion. And it's not that he doesn't fit with the artist, in my opinion. I don't think the guest artist on this album did that good of a job, Mike.
But that kind of goes together though, right? Like,
no, that's why I said we're in the
so
same
the
neighborhood, but on a
intensity
different
on their
street.
end isn't there either.
Right, because when I went back and listened the second time around, my takeaway from all the guest appearances was like, every last one of you are better than this, have done better than this, and normally do better than this. And so when I can say that about almost every single artist that stepped on the track on this album, does some of the responsibility fall on the artist because it's his project? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But also too, Mike, this is not practice. This is the league. And so when you show up to perform, if I'm used to you performing at a certain level, like I'm used to Dirk and Lil Baby performing at a certain level right now, where if you don't make me stop or make me listen again or turn my head or make me interested, like Lil Baby did on 24K Jacket on Gunna's album, then it is going to make me pause just a little bit and take a little bit of that flex.
Exactly.
A little bit. I'm going to take a little bit off of Chainz just because I don't feel like everybody who came out to the party properly.
Lil Baby dialed it in. He dialed it in for Nicki. I think he actually did a little bit better on the Nicki record than he did on this record.
I think he's working on his album, and you ain't about to get no dope shit from him. That's going on his album because he hadn't released the album in almost 2 years.
You know who does get dope shit from everybody? Future. Future and Thug. Because those
it's not
guys,
always dope, Mike. It's not always dope, but I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? You're not going to get a lackluster effort.
You're going to get their best.
Yes.
Even if
because they understand the moment. It's a level of, I don't even want to say respect, but just creatively. I had this argument in the, or this debate in the barbershop today. They were saying, who's more impactful, Future or Drake? I say Future all the way. He actually got sons out here who are running the game. Who are Drake's sons?
Mike.
Does he have any?
Mike. What Nas say on 4016 building? I got so many kids in the game. It's like a gender revealing. Like Future, one of the people that can lay claim to that. Because when I look at Lil
Future
Yachty,
Future got Gunna. He got Lil Baby. He got Lil Uzi. He got Thug. Like, even when rest in peace to Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD. Yeah, he got Young Thug. Juice WRLD said it was a dream to make a mixtape with Future. It's biggest influence. You know what I'm saying? These are people who are not just side acts. These are people who are franchise acts for labels.
Yeah.
Drake ain't got no sons out here like that. And when Drake needs a hit, who's he going to? Future.
Way too sexy.
Who's his biggest hit right now? Yeah, and his hit in 2020, he went to Future and Thug again for D4L.
What I tell you when that record dropped, Mike, I was like, this shit slaps.
Yeah.
Slaps.
But with that being said, though, and I think that 2 Chainz has a huge impact out here too. But I think for some of the people that he worked with, they may not see him like that because of the type of work they put in on the project. So like you said, they didn't deliver. They didn't feel the intensity of the moment.
I'm going to tell you what. Everything that you're saying about Drake and Future is true. I got a quick story for you.
Hold on real quick. I want to get to this comment. Masa says, Drake doesn't have offsprings yet. What you mean? When is he gonna have them? He's been here since 2009.
Yeah, but I say,
and he's the biggest in the game. When are they coming? When are the kids coming? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mike, we were burying my cousin 5 years ago. And I was with my family. And I was the OG. We were 2 cars deep. I'm the oldest dude between both whips. I'm with my cousin. It's her mother that had just passed. She's driving her whip. I'm in the passenger seat. My younger sister and brother are in the back. Jumpman comes on, Mike. Our other cousins are in the car next to us. They all go ape shit. We just got done burying somebody and everybody been quiet and in a mood. Jumpman, Mike. Future, Mike. Every time, because Mike, I'm a student of the game because little sis said something to me. She was like, you not rocking with us, bro. And I'm like, it's not my thing. I'm like, but I'm there because y'all are there because I'm watching them say every single word Future is saying. Like, we over here in the car, my 2 cousins are over here singing every word. My cousin who's just buried her mother is singing the word. My siblings are in the back singing the words. And I was like, oh, this nigga's special. Because he got my family on lock. These are the cats I schooled. I'm with my young G's, and they on Future shit, and we riding out in Charlotte, and this is who they wanted.
Even when you talk about that project they did together, Drake needs Future way more than Future needs Drake. When does Future really call on Drake to be on his shit? It never really happens.
They were saying all of Future's parts. That's the part that stayed with me where I was like, oh, he's special, because Lil Sis had been putting me on since Dirty Sprite. She used to come to the crib after high school like, that Future, Coop, that Future.
Miss Lynette says what I said. She said, I only like Life is Good when the beat changes and Future comes in. I agree. I fast forward through.
I'm going to have to concur on this.
I'm just saying, But again, I think you kind of measure impact by how many offsprings you got out there. And to me, it's not even comparable. And that's why Future always gets everybody's best. I think that 2 Chainz could have picked some people who were popping now, but picked guys that, he was had a little bit more chemistry with. There's a lack of chemistry on these features. And especially for it to be such an epic moment, because I think he said it's going to be his last trap album or whatever. I don't know, man. This seems kind of rushed, direction a little off, and like you said, the people who were on it didn't really bring their best. They just dialed it in.
They gave Chainz a verse like Chainz was normal. Chainz not normal.
No. Yeah. He means a lot.
No, he does.